And we're back for part 2. We're going to jump back into some multiplayer. I'm one of those people. It's like I'm so disillusioned with listening to people argue on the internet that I see people argue and I'm just like, oh, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? You just get to a point where you're just like, it's like, yeah, they've both got valid. They're both arguing about something, and there's some discussion to be had, definitely, about what's going on. But do you have to argue? I'm fed up with people arguing. Do you know, it sounds really bad and it almost sounds dismissive, but it's like, I'm bored of people arguing now.
Yeah.
It's like, can we not just have a civilized discussion? Does it have to get heated straight away when someone disagrees with you? Do you know what I mean? You're like, someone disagrees with you, that's fine, but why don't you just have a discussion about it? Why don't you just talk about why you disagree? It's like, in terms of politics, it's like I'm much more interested in if I don't like a politician, and there's plenty I don't like, trust me. Basically any of the Tories, but the point I'm making is that like I'd much rather have an intellectual discussion with people about why I have those political views than have someone argue with me about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, this is what I mean. Like I'm just so not interested. It's like if people start arguing on like a Facebook comment or like one of my Facebook posts, I just stop commenting.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not here for an argument. I'm here for discussion. So I don't mind. I will, if I have a controversial opinion, I will post that opinion and I will back it up, and I will talk about it. But the second someone starts attacking you or arguing with you about it, it's like, well, that's the point when it's not a discussion. It's like, you can't just scream at somebody and expect them to be willing to talk to you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, it's like, I'm not going to get involved. I've literally just like said to my friend who's sent me the screenshot, I'm like, I'm not his dad. He can argue it himself. Which sounds really. I've said I'm not being dismissive. I'm just saying I don't know why he thinks that. I don't know why he said that. And because I don't know, I'm not going to get involved. People annoy me. This is why I keep telling Chloe I just want to go and move into a cottage in the woods. It's like, just take me to Sweden, take me into a massive dense forest, and let's build a hut and live there.
There's a Twitch streamer I watch who's from Sweden.
Sweden's a great place. I mean, they've got some great music. A lot of like the sort of rock bands are like, a lot of good rock bands that are about at the moment are from Sweden.
Internet's not very good though.
Oh, in Sweden.
Yeah.
Why is that? Just bad infrastructure, or?
I don't know. I don't know why. There's this one Twitch streamer called Andy. Called Andy's 138 Live.
What does he stream?
He never has very good internet.
Ah, right. What does he stream?
So, like variety games with Shy, which is another streamer I watch.
Ah, yeah. It's cool though. I've always wanted to go to Sweden.
Yeah.
Because on one side of my family I've got Scottish heritage. The other side it can be traced back to Viking heritage, and some of that is Sweden. I'd like to go and see the places where ancestors supposedly came from and stuff. Like, we're talking way back, so like it's mostly like ruins and stuff, but it's interesting. Interesting to see. I like to see. I'm very interested in my family history.
Yeah.
And so I know, for example, having both parents sort of be born in England, but My mum's family is Scottish, my dad's family is English, but the name traces back to Viking settlers. So his ancestors were Viking settlers, and so yeah. His family migrated here probably several hundreds of years ago, when the Vikings invaded, which explains the beard. It explains why I can grow such a majestic beard.
But Shy's planning on, but Shy's been saving up to move Andy to where he lives.
Oh, is Andis like a partner of theirs, or are they in a relationship?
The gay.
Oh, that's fair enough. I assumed if they were so they just want to move in together, basically.
Yeah, Shy lives in where does he live now? Somewhere in America.
Ah, so he wants to move to America, or does the guy from America want to move to Sweden?
He's moving Andy's to America.
Ah, okay.
So they can live together.
Well, that's nice. That I mean, a long distance relationship is complicated.
Yeah, he even had like a stream goal.
Yeah.
For it.
Oh, that's nice though.
So they are moving in together, but after the coronavirus stuff, so but they are
obviously as well. Shy would have to get an American or whichever one's going to America has to get an American citizenship. Andis, yeah. So it's like I think they call it a green card.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that works because I've never had to get a green card. I've never had to go for an American citizenship, and at the minute I don't think I'd want to move to America.
For the longest time, I always thought it was like a VR chat relationship, a VR chat only relationship, like most people tend to do.
But it's like they're actually together, which is nice.
Yeah, until Shy came, until someone asked on stream, and Shy said,
yeah, they're in a relationship. Well, that's
but they're
really
in a relationship, and I'm like, wait, what?
Like people see, that's what I mean. It's like that's. And it's like, I think it's nice that their streamer goal is to just so they can live together, which is just quite a nice thing. And it's like, I mean, long distance relationships are difficult. I know this because my friend was only a short long distance, but he was in a relationship with somebody who, while he was studying, they were studying abroad.
Oh, right.
So he was over here, but his girlfriend was studying in Paris.
Alright.
But that was like most of the time she was in Paris.
Yeah.
She was studying, I think it was like an art degree or something. Anyway, but their relationship didn't work because she was in Paris for so long, and it's like they didn't see each other, so their relationship kind of broke down because of it. Some relationships work just fine, and some relationships they don't work unless you're together. So I can't.
There is someone I know from college.
Yeah.
Who has a girlfriend in Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
Have they met up before?
I don't know. I've never really asked.
This is what I mean. It's like long distance isn't always a bad thing. It's just I personally, for me, like that's too much. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Because it means you've got to go out of your country every now and again just to go and see you.
Yeah, it's like again.
That can be costly.
It is. It's hard and it's stressful, and this is why I couldn't do it, because I don't deal with stress very well. I've got BPD. I do not deal with stress very well. Basically, stress, anxiety, worry. If there's any wiggle room for me to worry about something, if there's literally any reason for me to worry about something, I will worry about it.
Oh yeah, I do that a lot.
Hell,
I get stressed super easy.
So I'll agree to meet my friends, and I'm like, well, what if they cancel on me and don't tell me, and I'm in the pub on my own? Like that's straight away. Not like I'm excited to meet my friends. Straight away, I'm like, what if they cancel? Like, I can't be excited until I'm there and I know that they're there.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm like, well, yeah, but what if I get excited and they don't turn up and I'm excited for no reason and then I've ruined my day, you know? And it's like,
Oh yeah.
also BPD is like, it's quite common. It's quite a common thing for a lot of people. But one big trait of borderline personality disorder is you just convince yourself that nobody likes you, basically. A lot of the time. Do you know what I mean? It's not as easy as like, oh well, you got friends. I'm like, yeah, but how do I know my friends don't secretly hate me? Do you know what I mean? This is what I mean. That's why it's tricky. That's what it does to you. It makes you believe. The thing with the condition BPD is it convinces you, no matter how much evidence you have, that these like invasive thoughts you have about things are true, as opposed to just you having a problem.
Yeah.
It's like rather than you realizing, oh, I've got a condition that makes me think like this, your brain's like, yeah, but what if that's really what's happening? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like someone said it's a bit like having conspiracy theories about yourself, which is a jokey way of looking at it, but also, yeah, pretty much. And it's like, it's weird. It's like it's like, you know, there's a whole thing and a whole diagnosis I could go into, but you get, it's like there's like a thing with like you get a sort of abandonment issues, and like you think people are just going to walk out of your life for no reason. And the thing is, because that's happened to me in the past, where people just stop talking to me for no reason. Like they've just decided, you know what I mean? Because that has happened to me before, I can't. It's something you just can't switch off and be like, no, you've been daft. You know what I mean? It's like, because it's happened before, you immediately think it's possible that it could happen again. Do you know what I mean? So for me, that's why long distance could never work for me, because there's too much room for me to worry. I mean, luckily, I'm in a happy relationship where I don't have to do long distance. I live with my partner, and we have kids. But you know, it's like if this were long distance, I couldn't do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just couldn't. Like, and so I admire it when people can do it. I'm like, that's brave, because it's not an easy thing to deal with. Some people who are a bit more introverted might prefer long distance. Again, there's no relationships. There's no rules. It's like you guys set the, like when you're in a relationship, the people who are in the relationship set the rules. You know what I mean? It's their relationship, their boundaries, their rules, which I've got a lot of respect for. It's like you know, there's people I know, for example, who just don't follow conventional relationships, not in a bad way, but like, for example, one of my friends is in what's called a throuple, where it's actually 3 people in a relationship together, not 2.
What?
Yeah. And that exists.
Does that even work?
Yeah, it's called being polyamorous. And it's a thing. It's a thing, and if that's how they want to be, and that makes them happy, then all power to it. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, if that makes you guys happy, cool. It's like, it's not for me, and personally I wouldn't, but that's because I don't have to like it, because I'm not in that relationship. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have to like something as long as it doesn't. If it doesn't involve me, it's also not my problem, because it's not hurting anybody. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like that's what I mean. It's like sometimes people get so preoccupied with other people's business and about, wait, why are they doing that? Why can they do that, etc. That they forget that it's like, well, if it's nothing to do with them, then it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've always been very much one of those no harm, no foul kind of like, well, if you guys are happy doing this, then who am I to say it's not right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just think it's weird, because they were kind of met with some opposition to that. You know, that people are like, well, what are you doing? It's like, and they're like, well, we know what we're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're happy together, the 3 of them, and that's fine, because it just means that it's like that's all right. Their dynamic works for their life, and it's like, this is the thing. There are no rules, and this is the rules. The rules of how relationships work are what is set between the people in the relationship. It's like there's not like a rule book somewhere.
There probably is. You just haven't seen it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but it's like again with the rules, you go. I suppose the only time that I suppose relationship rules could come into play is like, say, if someone's very religious. So say if they're a Muslim and the Quran says certain things about their their relationships, or if they're a Christian and the Bible says certain things about their relationships. In that case, yeah, there might be rules. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
However, you know, I've always been very liberal with my opinions on this, and I'm like, you know, the whole love is love argument is what I say. It's like whatever works for people. It's like, hell, if someone wants to go marry a train station, they can do that if they really want to. It's like
I think marrying a train station, you would be seen as crazy.
it's already happened.
What?
There's somebody somewhere in the world who is married to a train station. Do I get it? No, but it's not hurting anybody, so I guess okay. You know what I mean? There's somebody who married themselves.
Well, that I can see that.
I quite like that. It's like, fine, if no one's gonna marry me, I'll marry me. Oh me.
If it was up to me, I'd marry my Hatsune Miku body pillow.
Fair enough. If it works for you.
But sadly,
you could tell me you wanted to marry a cardboard cutout of Danny DeVito, and I wouldn't judge. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but like all the religious people would do.
Yeah, but that's the kind of thing. It's like if they're judging, if religious people are judging other people based on their life choices rather than their own, then they're following the wrong religion.
Because what is it we're over? What religion are we over here? I can't remember.
It's Catholic, Christian, Church of England, Protestant.
Yeah, those. Like
they're all slightly different, but yeah.
Yeah, they take love like seriously, don't they?
Well,
so
they take marriage very seriously.
Yeah, so marrying a Miku body pillow would be very frowned upon.
I don't see you getting married in a church to a body pillow, dude. It's like, can you imagine? Like, you go to a registrar, so yes, I'd like to marry this pillow, please. Get out. It's like, but it's like that. That's like me. It's like, to be fair, part of me wants to go to a registrar and say, I'd like to marry this tomato, please.
But one of those funny though.
Yeah.
If you actually go over to Japan.
Yeah.
You can actually marry Hatsune Miku.
Hang on.
Someone's done it. Loads of people have done it. There's been like over 1,000 registry awards.
They're married to Hatsune. Yeah. How does?
Yeah.
But I mean, okay, but what?
See, but you're confused, hasn't it?
It's like, I just, ugh. Fair enough.
So once coronavirus is over, I could go anytime I want over Japan and legally get married to Hatsune Miku.
Yeah.
Legally.
Right. That's weird to me, but
thousands of people in Japan have done it. Apparently, there's been certificates and everything for it. Those certificates, it's become a common thing in Japan.
That's weird, but in a good way. Like, it's fair enough if it's
There was a video I watched on YouTube where this guy in Japan got married to Hatsune Miku plushie.
Fair enough.
And his mom refused to come to the wedding.
It's I mean, I'm not saying that that's the right thing to do. I'm not saying she's right. I'm saying I kind of get where she's coming from, because if she doesn't support it, this is the way I've seen it.
She was fully against it.
Well, this is the thing. It's like I've always said, if I got married to somebody that my parents didn't and they weren't happy with that, I'd be like, well, don't come to the wedding then. Do you know what I mean? I'm very much of the belief that, like, you don't have to do what your parents want you to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're an adult and you can make your own decisions, you don't have to appease your parents. That's how I've always seen it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm just naturally rebellious in some ways, but at the same time, it's like I firmly believe that I'm going to make a decision not because my parents said so, but because I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And I was in a relationship for a while with somebody who my parents didn't like.
Yeah.
They didn't like that person at all.
Mm.
But I did. So, I didn't let them tell me no. They were just like, well, we don't want to see her. It's like, that's fine, you won't see me either. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like people think that just because their parents gave birth to them that they have to do what they say, and I'm very much against that. I believe you should always respect your parents in a way, unless they're actual human garbage. But it's like unless you've got like, you know what I mean. It's like if your parents are bad people, if your parents don't like the person you're with, they don't have to because they're not in the relationship with them. I mean, I know we're talking about a plushie here, but the way I've always seen it as well with relationships is that like it's like my parents like, we don't like this person you're with. It's not Chloe. This is a person I was with before Chloe. And they were like, well, we don't like her, and I was like, oh, that's fine. You don't have to. You're not going out with her. And they were like, fair enough. I was like, I'm sorry. I didn't realise you were the one going out with her.
Yeah, that would be weird though. One of the parents were the one dating your girlfriend. That'd be weird.
Oh, it would be, but that's the point. It's supposed to make them feel weird, because you're like, well, I would understand your criticism if you were the one in the relationship with this person, but you aren't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've always said that, like, people need to like, regardless of whether they are your relatives or your friends, you can still make decisions that they don't like. It doesn't make that decision any less valid just because people don't approve of it.
Yeah.
It's like, God, when I went to pursue a career in graphic design at first, people were like, well, that's not a proper job. You know what I mean? And I was like, well, but I still did it, and I was a designer for nearly 4 years. I'd still like to be a designer, but the industry is very difficult, and I was getting picked on in my job, so I basically had to leave. But doesn't mean I'm going to stop trying. You know what I mean? And it's like, people. It's like people who like my brother who took a part-time job to focus on his music and his band. There was some people were saying to him, "Oh, you need more money than that. You need a real job. Being a musician isn't a real job." And he was like, "Well, yes, it is. I get paid to play shows," which he does. Sure, it's not a massive earner, but if he makes it big, he could earn a lot of money. And for him, it's not about the money; it's the fact that he enjoys it. And that's what I've always said. It's like there's no point doing a job that you don't like. People spend too much time at work to do a job that they don't like. Like most people spend 5 days a week, at least 8 hours a day, right, at a job. So why would you do something you don't like for that amount of time, unless it's the only job you could get? Do you know what I mean? It's like, I find that a difficult conversation because I mean I'm not necessarily talking about myself here, as a disclaimer, but if I don't enjoy a job and I find myself not liking what I'm doing, I'm not going to stay there. Do you know what I mean? If I find myself not having a good time at a job, I'm quite happy to leave and find something else. Because at the end of the day, life's too short to spend most of your time miserable. And that's the way I see it because the reality is some of us, there are people out there who don't have to work, and that's fine. But then those of us that do, I think, should focus on what we enjoy, not what we should do. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so it's like, for example, if the job I'm in right now, if I stop enjoying it, I'm not going to stay there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, again, I spend too much time at work to be miserable. And some people don't agree with that. They think that it's like, well, a job's a job's a job kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, it is. But I spend enough time at that job to not want to be miserable while I'm doing it.
Yeah, but a job's not just a job. A job is what defines you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, like, luckily, a job is, and it sounds stupid, but it's just a job. You can get another one. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it depends on how you were taken out your last job.
If you get fired for something really bad, then yeah. But like, so I've been fired from one job before, and it was not really my fault at all. I got blamed for something that wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
What happened there was a shipment of these boxes in this warehouse. I used to do quality inspection.
Alright.
And packing. And a bunch of these boxes arrived for a big supplier just before Christmas on this pallet. And they were dropped off in my area. And I was like, right, and we need you to... it was specifically, I remember it was like a beard kit. So it's like a beard brush, beard comb, stuff like that had to be packed.
Yeah.
And they're like, right, these all need doing. You've got a week to pack all of them. There's like 5,000 or whatever there were. You know, just get as many as you can done this week.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing this all day, so you'll probably get them done because they only took like less than a minute to pack each.
Yeah.
But the boxes were all damaged, or they were all scuffed. But they were going to, I believe it was Debenhams.
Okay.
So they're a big supplier.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of money in the contract for our company who made products out of pewter and metal. So it was quite a big, you know, there was a lot. It was a big money contract, and these boxes were supplied to us. We didn't make the boxes in house; they were given to us by the retailer, and they all arrived damaged, or most of them did. But when I finished, and I didn't notice because I was like, right, I'm just going to pack the boxes. They've all come like this. This must be how they look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What happened was I got halfway through, and one of the bosses goes, "What's all this? What's wrong with these boxes?" I went, "I don't know." Do you know what I mean? I was like, "I've got no idea." I was like, "It's like, well, what have you done to them?" I went, "Nothing." I was like, "This is how they arrived." He was like, "No, it isn't." I went, "Yeah, it is. I've literally just picked them up, put the stuff in, and put them down over there." It's like, well, you must be chucking them or something. I'm like, "No." Anyway, long story short, they well, it wasn't so much fired as they let me go because I was a temp. And I was just like, I mean, to this day, I mean, I insist. It's like, if I've done something wrong, I will own up to it, right? I still insist to this day, I did not do that to the boxers. And I remember because my brother worked for the same company at the time, and my brother was not happy. He went mad.
Yeah.
My little brother just went nuts at the boss and almost lost his job having a go. He was like, "Why have you sacked him for? That's not fair." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, and he was like, "Oh, he damaged all this stuff," and he's like, "No, I saw the boxes too. They weren't damaged." Like, "Oh, you're just sticking up for him because he's related to you." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there were plenty of people because when it happened, when the boxes arrived, and I remember this, I went to the boss. I went, "Are they supposed to look like this?" It's like because the black was they were like black and cream coloured.
Yeah.
And the black was sort of smudged into the cream on a lot of the borders.
Yeah.
And I went, "Are they meant to look like this?" And they went, "Yeah, it's fine, just pack them." And then when it came to the first shipment going off, that's when they got mad about it. I'm like, "But you knew this happened a week ago. I literally asked you if this was okay a week ago.
Yeah.
Because if not, you need to send the boxes back and demand they send us more tomorrow. Because that means your supplier has damaged the goods before, or we've damaged them when we've unloaded them on the forklift from the truck."
Yeah.
I remember that because that was like a load of, pardon my language, a load of shit. I mean, luckily, I literally walked out of that job, walked into another place, handed my CV in, and was offered another job the same day.
Really? That was fast.
Just because I knew what my skill set was, so I left there and went to Lush.
Yeah, what was that?
Lush, the sort of they sell product, like, you know, Like they sell soap products and stuff.
Ah,
The bath bomb place.
yeah,
And I got a job there instead of over Christmas.
yeah.
Let's see. Oh, we're on the pit. Oh god, that guy's got the rocket launcher. You know when you sort of stare face down with somebody and you just see the rocket coming towards you, like, I immediately regret this decision. It's like my judgment was calculated, but damn, I'm bad at maths. But yeah, it's interesting because I was thinking, you know, what I might do because I said I was making that jacket.
Yeah.
I'm so tempted to do a Twitch just chatting while I'm making it. So I could like stream me just doing this jacket.
Yeah.
That might be interesting. I might get a few people talking about it. But problem is I've got all the studs. I just need to buy some patches for it. But I don't have.
You're not going to discuss Stew, are you?
A what?
You're not going to discuss Stew from Simpsons.
No. Oh, it's it's like I want to I was just sorry. I'm trying not to get my ass handed to me here. Oh fuck off. But it's like I wanted to make the jacket. But I thought it might be interesting to do it while I'm on just chatting. But then it's like people go, "You're doing this wrong." I'm like, "Oh god." It's like that's not how you do this. I'm like, I know I can't sew. I'm buying iron-on patches. Just call me a wimp. Jesus Christ. I can't sew. My grandma can sew. Okay. I have a sewing machine. I just don't know how to use it. I've not used it. I've not used one since textiles in year 9.
One thing I've been wanting to do is make my own cosplay outfit.
Oh yeah, I've seen some people making some cosplays, and man, they seem difficult.
Oh yeah.
It's like one time I wanted to make. I don't know if you know of Hellsing, the anime.
Yeah.
I wanted to make an Alucard
Oh yeah.
cosplay. What I like about Alucard, it is literally just Dracula spelt backwards.
Yeah.
And people don't notice.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, Alucard is Dracula spelt backwards.
I never saw that. I never spotted that.
It's like, I know somebody who was a massive Hellsing fan who never noticed.
Yeah.
And she was like, what? And then it's like, stop it, you're ruining my life. It's like, I also really like, if you've seen the abridged series of Hellsing, it's good.
I ain't seen any of them.
Oh, you've not seen Hellsing?
No.
I recommend it. It's an interesting one. If you like vampires and shit.
Not particularly my thing. They're alright, not particularly my thing, too much my thing.
If you want to see vampires fighting Nazis, if you say to someone, okay, so Dracula works for the British government and fights Nazis,
yeah,
they go, are you on drugs? And I'm like, no. It's literally the plot of Hellsing. Well, it's not so much the British government as the British Secret Service, if you like.
Oh yeah.
And it's like he's kind of sworn a blood oath to this one family.
Yeah.
So he has to do what they say. Like, not
Yeah.
like as a slave, he's willingly done it, like he swore to protect somebody. or somebody's descendants, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's what he does. And it's super interesting. I mean, and the art is just gorgeous. It's like, you know, the art style and the way it's just so impressive. It's just visually a stunning thing.
One I'm still watching is Sanko San the Artful Fox.
Sanko San the Artful Fox?
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, it's about this like deity fox who helps this guy who's like under stress.
Oh yeah.
Stress like relax by doing everything for him and all
that. One thing I've really been enjoying watching again, should I say, because I've already watched it, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah.
I absolutely love JoJo, I'm not going to lie. Mainly because it's ridiculous. But the whole point is it's meant to be.
It's anime.
It's like, it is, like, all these characters are over the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I love how, as well, theoretically, we're talking about in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the Joestar family is supposed to be like British aristocracy. I'm like, but what about these one man who literally wears his hair as a hat, basically, and has a stand called Star Platinum, and dresses like in what looks like Japanese high fashion. Says and goes ora, says British aristocracy. And don't even watch it in English dub because the English dub is terrible.
So is for Attack on Titan.
Yeah, it's weird because I thought, you know, with the fact that obviously the Joestar family, which is the main family in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I figured, okay, so if I watch this in English, bearing in mind they're supposed to be sort of British aristocracy, they'll get English voice actors, like which they did, like British voice actors, and I thought this is going to make a lot more sense, like they're going to sound like what they should.
Yeah.
It just sounds wrong. It's like, don't get me wrong, there's such thing as a decent dub. Like, I think Bleach's English dub was pretty good.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty good English dub.
And I think Dragon Ball Z, their English dub was pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Like, they got the voices for, like, Goku and Vegeta and stuff dead on, I thought. You know. I thought they were perfect. However, at the same time, I've seen some pretty bad English dubs, you know. Again, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure being one of them. It's just, maybe I'm being too critical. But, like, also, what about the name Joseph Joestar or Jotaro Joestar sounds remotely like British aristocracy? And for him to have an adopted brother who, for some reason, is also a vampire called Dio Brando.
Oh, but it was me all along, Dio.
She thought it was Jojo, but it was I, Dio. Come at Dio.
Yes, I have seen the meme.
But it was, you thought this was a Jojo meme, but it's me, Dio. Jotaro.
You dare approach me?
Oh, you're approaching me? I can't beat your ass if I'm all the way over here. Jotaro. Dio. Ho. My favourite character is a character called Giorno Giovanna.
Alright.
And I don't know why. I can't explain why he's my favourite character. He just is. And it's like, what's this? Okay. So. It's like, there's some really. The thing is with JoJo, I think it's actually a very well done anime series. To be fair.
Alright.
I think it's just well done. I mean, for what a ridiculous concept it actually is.
Yeah.
it's like it's actually pretty good. um, it's like if someone
Why are you Fever's 4?
someone's left.
Uh,
Of course, somebody's left.
well, that's going to be a fun game for you.
Oh, it's gonna be great. Can't you
Are you
tell?
sure about that?
Can't you tell how overjoyed I am?
Yes, I can see excitement on your face. I can see the excitement on your face as I watch your stream.
But it's like I think that it's for me. I'm not necessarily a massive anime watcher. I have ones that I like, but I don't really go out to look for new stuff. Like I keep meaning to watch Tokyo Ghoul.
And so that one I've not seen.
Because I've been recommended it, and like, it seems like it's up your street, and it probably is. It's got that kind of spooky level to it. It's like a lot of this stuff I like. It's like Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
Studio Ghibli. Obviously, I like Yu-Gi-Oh, Dragon Ball, Hellsing, Bleach. I didn't like Naruto.
Oh, I don't like. I haven't seen Naruto too long.
I like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
You were just saying that.
Yep, I like. What's the other one? Elfen Lied. That's it.
Elfen Lied.
Lead.
It's pronounced lead. I hate having to correct people on that.
Elfen Lied. That one then. I was because it's because the person who introduced me to it called it Elfen Lied.
I hate having to correct people on that. It's lead. It's German.
Elfen Lied. Okay, fair enough. I also quite like. It was Code Geass as well.
Oh yeah, Code Geass is a good one.
And Evangelion. Evangelion I like.
I haven't seen Evangelion.
I reckon I would say it's one of those where listen, you're not going to understand what the hell's going on most of the time.
Yeah, but you don't in Gundam.
Fair point. Gundam. That's one I missed off.
Yeah, you don't in Gundam.
The Gundams just look at the big fighting robots. Evangelion's kind of the same. Like, look at the big fighting robots, but also there's supposedly a backstory about Adam and Eve and creation and angels, and but also how does this link in with these giant robots?
Yeah, that's probably why I never watched it.
It's really good. Don't get me wrong. It's really, really good. But I had to watch it enough times to understand what the hell I just witnessed. The first time I watched it, I was like, huh? But why did, and how did, and when did...
Another one I enjoy is the Gundam Build series.
Oh, yeah. Go on.
Where the, instead of like, actual, like, mobile suits, the competing tournaments with little plastic mobile suit and Gundam models.
Oh, right, that's different.
I've actually got some next to me in my bedroom, which I built 2 of.
That's cool. Another one.
You can buy them on eBay and build them.
Sweet. I might have to look at that. Another one that I liked was Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, I never saw it animated. I only saw the live action.
Again, the live action was fine. That was good.
I'm just saying 4DX.
It's good. But obviously, I'd watched the. My uncle introduced me to the anime because my uncle really liked Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
It was funny enough. I used to watch Dragon Ball with my grandpa, who I managed to get into Dragon Ball. My grandpa loved Dragon Ball Z because my grandpa used to do martial arts. He used to do Tai Chi, so he quite liked the fighting animes. People keep telling me to watch. There's one that I won't watch just because I've been told to watch it so many times, which is My Hero Academia.
I won't watch that because he got way too many awards at the last awards ceremony.
You see, I won't watch it just because I keep getting told to watch it. Like, everyone tells me to watch it. I'm like, no, I've not seen it.
Everyone's overhyping it.
I don't even understand what it's about. I don't even get it.
Yeah, to me, everyone's just overhyping it.
It's like, don't get me wrong. Like, if it's good, it's good. But because people keep telling me, oh, you need to watch it, I'm like, I don't want to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like if someone tells you to do something over and over again. It's like TV series that I really like. For example, I'm a big fan of. You're right. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead. It's fine. Oh, you've. God, I won't be long. By the way. Um, yeah, it's like sometimes people tell you to watch something so many times that you just don't watch it. It's like sometimes I watch these things and I think they're good, but because someone's told me to watch it so many times, I just won't watch it.
Yeah, like my brother wanted me to watch Attack on Titan, and I just found it like a total chore to watch it.
Ah, yeah, it's like that's what I mean. It's like I like to watch things off my own back. So something that I watched off my own back, and I'm glad I did because I really liked it. Was it's a Netflix series called Stranger Things.
Alright.
I really like Stranger Things.
Yeah.
It's really good, but if I'd have had someone force me to watch it, I don't think I'd have enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's like Game of Thrones. I'd read the books, so I watched the series. But I like that kind of stuff anyway. Like I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I liked Merlin when that was on.
Alright.
It's like people always rammed about, oh, you need to watch Sherlock. I'm like, well, I already watched Sherlock because I was a big fan of Benedict Cumberbatch as an actor.
Yeah.
So I watched that off my own back. It's like when it's like loads of people kept saying to me, oh, you need to watch if someone goes, you need to watch this film over and over again. I'm like, ugh. The only one that I didn't go to the cinema to see, which I'm glad I did watch, was Joker.
Alright.
That was a really good film.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's dark, but it's a good film. But I like films that make you think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I like films that have got a message that you take home with you afterwards.
Yeah.
And then it's I suppose it's the same with, like, if you get told to watch something, it's not the same as being interested in it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't have to. I think that if you have to keep telling someone to watch something, it's probably because it's not good enough for them to watch it themselves.
Yeah.
As a general rule of thumb, it's just something that I've found that, like, I've enjoyed something more when I've just gone, oh, you know what I fancy watching today? It's like me and my partner were watching something called The Sinner, which is like a crime drama at the minute.
Yeah.
Like on Netflix, and I was like, at first, but then I've really gotten into it. It's like murder mystery stuff.
Or like Midsomer Murders.
Not well. I don't like Midsomer Murders whatsoever. I think that's really dull. But it's more like
I enjoyed watching that because it kept you guessing who the killer was.
You see, with this, you know who the killer is most of the time, but it's more about you don't know why.
Yeah.
It's like there was one, for example. I won't ruin it in case it's something that ever pops up on your to-watch list.
Probably not.
It probably won't do, but I always say I don't like to spoil something if someone's not watched it. Basically, this person goes to the beach. This woman goes to the beach with her family, and then she sees this guy, and she just gets up and stabs him, kills him.
As you do.
But she doesn't. But no one knows why she did it. She doesn't even know why she did it. Really, at first, she has no. Basically, she's like, why did you kill him? She's like, I don't know. But it turns out basically that she's like some really traumatic stuff happened to her, and this guy was part of it. He didn't do anything to her particularly, but basically, he took somebody away from her that was very important, and she was drugged so she would forget. But then she heard the music that was playing the night it happened because he was playing it at the beach.
Yeah.
So that's when it triggered this memory, and she just killed him because she wanted revenge. but she didn't even remember. It was like in her subconscious. And it was really well done. It wasn't just like, oh well, she killed him and it was weird because she didn't know why. It was more like repressed memories. Someone drugged her to try and make her forget it had ever happened. And so it was actually really well done. And I was really impressed with it because at first I was like, oh come on, you would remember something like that. But then when they explain why she doesn't remember, it's like, oh okay.
See, I prefer to trying to guess the who than the why.
Yeah, you see, my recommendation for that then, if you ever want to watch any more whodunits, is an American crime drama called Bones.
Alright.
Basically, she's an anthropologist, a forensic anthropologist, but at first she basically works on like mummies and stuff.
Yeah.
And because she's so good in her field, and they find a body that's partially mummified, it's how it all starts. Because it's been left somewhere where basically it became mummified due to what it was left in. They hire her to try and work out who this person was, how old they were, how they died. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so she ends up working for the CIA in like their missing persons unit and solving like what they call John and Jane Doe mysteries, where there's like a body they can't identify.
Yeah.
And that's basically what she ends up doing, and it's really good. Like it's like 9 seasons, but I'm obsessed with it. It's like it's like I'm hooked on that, and it's like I need to catch up with it. Hey, listen, man, I've got work early in the morning, so I'm gonna end the stream now. Is that all right, dude?
Yeah.
Right, so thank you very much for watching, everyone. I'll catch you guys next time, and thank you to Lord Arbiter for joining us for the stream.